There are a lot of teams needing to show up in this split.
The Unicorns have phenomenal team fights.
Being part of the LCS is just for me that I can show what I can do on the stage.
Up goes the spider, and Cosq says not today.
Getting a new coach would put some new fire in the team.
Is in trouble, no support from the mid lane. First blood picked up by Trashy.
Group, you know, the team that I'm looking forward to play against is Splice.
For Samix sinks the fangs in. Vitality trading damage back and forth. It's still back with the kill.
We as a team feel like we are getting better and growing as players.
We ended in good terms, but I still feel there's some heat.
Hello everyone and welcome to Berlin for more action in the EU LCS Summer Split. Vitality and Splice, they lost their first series last week and they are facing off in what could be a very important matchup in the fight for playoffs. We are live here from our studio and we see Vitality a bit earlier setting up on stage, Nuke Duck and Yamato Cannon, fashionable as always, as well as Kalbushar. Getting in the zone, Javu, the new coach for Splice, knowing that there needs to be a win on the board for Splice to get off to a better start in this week. Hello everyone, I'm EpicSkillshot supporter and I am following today's action alongside Martin the Fisho Lunge and Henning Eklund.
Where do you follow us?
Where do you follow us? I'll follow you on the Rift. I'll follow you throughout the day. But well, it was an awesome day yesterday. We have 4 days of games, so we better gear up.
Sure, it should be actually pretty fun today as well. We got Mysterious Monkeys, Unicorns of Love. That's going to be a lot of kills. And the first one, I'm not sure. Is it going to be a lot of kills? It's going to be slow. I'm actually not really too sure yet.
Might be slow.
Yeah, the first one is going to be close for sure. And speaking of close, what we saw yesterday was a really close best of 3, which I really enjoyed, where Fnatic was able to really utilize their style to take down G2.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. One of the best series so far in 2017 summer. And I know it's only week 2, but it does seem like this is one for the ages. The Kings were taken down, and it was a greatly entertaining one as well.
Exactly, and we got 3 games, which was super awesome. We even saw G2 leave the Shannon open twice, actually 3 times now, the Cannon and Shen combo, to kind of see if they could maybe beat it here on stage early on, but clearly without enough practice, they couldn't actually take down Fnatic.
And what I love so much is that Fnatic just stick to their style. They like to play it on Reckless. Everyone knows that they do it, and they still go for the same plan 3 games in a row, ends up working out against G2, which we have to mention that they weren't as practiced as they should have been perhaps.
But still, Fnatic won. That means now the fight for first place is wide open. It's going to be super awesome because it's 3-0 Fnatic, but we know G2 will pick it up later and really start hunting for that first place.
Yeah, we know that indeed, and when you are Fnatic, if you get those picks and you can just beat teams with it, why not? Don't show anything else. So, as you said, with that win, Fnatic, they have now secured themselves an early lead in the fight for the top spot in Group A, and that's a fantastic position to be in. 3-0 so far, 5-1 in games, and there we also see Misfits were able to pick up their very first victory in Group A when they beat Ninjas in Pajamas yesterday.
Yeah, weird game. Definitely a weird one, but I think if you're Misfits getting a 2-0, it's kind of what you wanted, and you can just move on now.
Yeah, it was time for that. Well, let's turn our attention to the upcoming matchups for today, where the teams from Group B hit the Rift for the first time this week. Mysterious Monkeys versus Unicorns of Love, as said later. We kick things off versus Splice versus Vitality, and as said, it's going to be action-packed at the end of the day, as we're not sure what to expect from the first one, but the Monkeys and the Unicorns, they are going to fight.
Yeah, for sure. And I've got to say, we have high expectations on Unicorns of Love, because this might be the team that looked the strongest in week 1 versus the team that looked the weakest in week 1.
Great point. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Now, 2 teams that are hoping to fight for a top spot in Group B are Splice and Vitality. They're facing off in their first series, and both teams got off to a bad start to the split last week. Splice, a lot of ambitions. We're seeing, or we're waiting to see that Splice, come back online, so to say.
And I love that you said they hope to be fighting for for, you know, the top spots in Group B, because that kind of is the goal for both teams, but we obviously didn't see anything in week 1 that kind of impressed us. Splyce, specifically in the game 2 against H2K, got completely stumped with the Akali-Lucian composition, and we just want to see a bit more from a lot of the individual members on this lineup.
And a lot of that, or same remarks, go for Vitality. Also had a rough start. The Unicorns of Love decimated them if we look at, you know, the totality of the 2 games, although they did have some good moments.
Yeah, what I liked from Vitality in the first week was that they came into game 1 with a plan. They played against one of the strongest teams in Europe and were able to pick up first tower, first dragon, and Rift Herald. So Vitality had a plan, were able to execute it in the early game. But from there, things kind of went sour at the show.
Yeah, then went pretty downhill. And that's kind of the big thing for Vitality. You know, once they pick up the Rift Herald, there's some macro mistakes they make. And that's obviously what Yamato Cannon will kind of work on with these guys. But it's not just 1 week or 2 weeks. Like, that's probably the entire split, where plays like these need to just get removed.
Well, they can take the Rift Herald.
Take the Rift Herald. That's fine. That's fine. But then your no-flash support should wait for his lanes to push before he goes into the river. Because now you're actually, what you want to do is, you know, you want to push out bot lane, go mid, place the Rift Herald. Vander even sees Exile leave mid lane.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey guys.
Yeah, I think this is one of the main problems for Vitality. Vander and Joko not coordinating when they go for the roams, when they're going to go to ward together to get that vision down. Instead, they're walking in on their own and versus a pick comp like UOL had in that game. That's just not something you can do.
Yeah, no. And if you look at the matchups across the board, forgive me if this is a little too harsh, but it seems to be kind of battle of the mediocrity, I would say. A lot of the lanes don't really find their form, even from Splyce last split, except for that top lane from Splyce, and that's what we've always been talking about in Wonder. So how influential will that Wonder versus Cabochard matchup be?
Very influential, I'd say. This is going to be the big matchup that I'm looking for. I don't think we're going to be seeing Shen, Gragas just going at each other with a tanky bruisers and forgo the laning phase. I think we're going to see aggression. We saw Vitality in game 1 last week. They saved the counter pick for Cabochard to get a Kled. Then he went 0 kills in both of the games, so really not performing. On the other hand, Wonderwear went for the Jarvan and the Akali. So I'm expecting carries, perhaps even something like a Fiora.
Old school Wonderwear. We also have the battle of the coaches. Javu is the new coach for Splyce. Yamato, of course, going up against his ex-team. He said, well, we left on amicable terms, but you still bring the heat. It's kind of like you leave a relationship on amicable terms, but you still want to be seen with a hot new boyfriend or girlfriend.
And beat the other one?
No, not at all. Hey, Chris Brown, chill. Not at all.
Right now, he wants to beat Splyce at least. And obviously, for Yamato Cannon, he comes in here knowing a lot of things about this Splyce lineup, because he was kind of the man who was part of building this team and kind of making them a team that could go to Worlds last year. So he should know a lot of the small trends. He should know exactly how the players are kind of thinking about the game. And that should give an advantage to Vitality when it comes to the pick and ban phase. I would be very surprised if Yamato Cannon, you know, lost this draft just based on everything he already knows about the Splyce players. Yeah, for sure. I'm expecting Yamato Cannon to come in with a clear plan and to have good drafts. I think the drafts from Splyce were a bit shaky last week, so for Vitality's sake, I'm hoping Yamato Cannon has found a way to deal with that.
Well, he's won the short matchup, but that's often the case for Yamato.
Very true.
Quick prediction for you guys. Who will take this and why, Henning?
Yesterday, the man next to me said, don't trust the Swede. I'm not going to trust the Danes today. I'm going to go Vitality. It's a close one, so 2-1, but Vitality is my pick.
Never trust the Danes.
I'm going Splyce.
Splyce.
I think...
Of course you are.
I mean, not based on the players or anything. I think Splyce will actually go in and play much better in the early laning phase than we saw last week. And then I actually trust more in their teamwork in the late game compared to Vitality, who still sits there with a new support, new coach. And that's why I think Splyce can take it.
All right, well, we will see what happens and what Yamato, Cannon, and Vitality can do against Splyce as we are moments away from Game 1. Take it away, Quick Shot.
Thank you very much, Sharks.